Exodus, or the book of Shemot, the 32nd chapter, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed.
The people saw that Moshe what?
That he delayed.
That he delayed.
To come down out of the mount. The people gathered themselves together unto Aharon, and said unto him, Up, make us Elohims, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe or Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him.
Stop right there. Did not they had just agreed to the terms of the Mosaic covenant?
Yes,
of the two?
Yes, we did.
What was the very first thing he said in there? Thou shalt not have no other Elohim before him. Go ahead, Maureen.
Verse 2. And Aharon said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your Ishas, of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. So even Aaron lost faith.
Exactly.
And all the people broke off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aharon, and he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, let me read verse 4 again. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be your Elohim, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
And they said what?
These be your Elohims.
These be your Elohims.
O Yashra'al, which brought thee out,
O Yashra'al, which brought you
Egypt.
out of the land of Mizraim or Egypt. Go ahead.
And when Aharon saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aharon made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahuah.
Read that one more time. Y'all have lost y'all mind. Read that again for me.
And where Aharon saw it,
when Aharon saw it,
he built an altar before it.
He built an altar before it.
And Aharon made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahuah. And they rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. And Yahuah said unto Moshe, and Yahuah said unto Moshe, Go get you down, for your people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. Verse 7, one more time.
Listen to this, y'all.
And Yahuah said unto Moshe, Go get you down, for your people, which you broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten image, and have worshipped it, and they have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be your Elohims, O Yashra'al, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And Yahuah said unto Moshe, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against Israel, that I may consume them, Israel, and I will make you, Moshe, a great nation.
Stop right there. They have what? Kindled the Most High's anger.
Wow.
Remember I said, what was attached to that covenant that started out as a faith-based covenant, unconditional?
Mm-hmm.
That started with Abraham?
Right.
Because his faith wavered, what happened? Now, Yahuah comes back, he makes that a covenant, enter in that covenant, but now all of a sudden, death is required.
Right.
That's what the two pieces were about, that he crossed between. All before, it was just off of his oath or his word, because when we get over to the Messianic teachings of the New Testament, you're going to keep hearing the phrase about the oath sworn by his mouth.
Right.
What oath is he talking about sworn by his mouth, and when was it sworn? Remember, when we're dealing with Abraham, and we're dealing with Yashra'al, remember he said they were supposed to be what? A kingdom of priests. Now something happens with that because of what we just read. Now, what was Yahuah's first response to what they had done? What did he say, Morey?
You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay, verse 8, it said, they have turned quickly aside out of the way which I commanded them, and have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, these be your Elohims, O Yashra'al, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And Yahuah said unto Moshe, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath might wax hot against them.
That my wrath may wax hot against them.
And that I may consume them.
That I may consume all of Israel. Remember, death was applied to that covenant. He said that I may what? Anybody who breaks this covenant, death is required. He said that I may consume all of Israel, and then do what? Start over with who?
Moshe.
Start over with Moses. But keep reading more. We're going to see something interesting take place.
Wow, yeah. Okay, verse 11. And Moshe besought Yahuah, his Elohim, and said, Yahuah, why doeth thy wrath wax hot against your people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt?
Stop right there. We read before, Yahuah said they were Moses' people. He didn't want them hard-headed rascals.
Yeah.
He said, Moses, these are the people you brought out of Egypt. Now you see where Moses stepped in. What did he say? He said, the people you brought out of Egypt. Go ahead, Maury.
And Moshe besought Yahuah, his Elohim, and said, Sovereign, or Yahuah, why doeth your wrath wax hot against your people, which you has brought forth out of the land of Egypt, with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against your people. Remember Abraham.
Remember who?
Remember Abraham.
Go ahead.
Isaac and Yashra'al thy servants, to whom you sworest by thy own self.
Stop right there. To who swore? Yahuah by what? Him own self?
By your own self.
When did he swear? Y'all remember back here? With Abraham? Oh, that's important.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to get it more.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to do. Okay.
Oh, you help yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this usually becomes a problem.
Because this going to get good and good, as they say.
Let's, you can do 15. Chapter 15, verse 8. In that self-same day, it was Yahuah that made the covenant with Abraham, and this is when he begins to talk about the land that he's actually going to be allotted to them. So again, it was just Genesis, the 15th chapter, verse 18, that I found really important, that it was actually the father's covenant that he was making with Abraham. And then when we went to Exodus, the 34th chapter is making, the 32nd chapter is talking about, remember the covenant that he made with Abraham first, and then it just went on to Isaac and to eventually to Israel.
Right.
But again, like you said, he's still in Genesis, the 15th chapter, with the covenant that he made, where he says, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, in all this land that I have spoken of, which is back in Genesis 15th chapter, will I give it to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahuah repented of the evil which he brought to do unto his people, and Moshe turned and went down from the mount. Okay, I just want to make sure I read it slow. Follow along. And Moshe turned and went down from the mount, and the two tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides, and on the one side and on the other were the tables were the works of Elohim, and the writings was the writings of Elohim, graven upon the tables. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moshe, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for weakness or being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came near into the camp, that he saw the calf, and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tables out of his hand, and broke them beneath the mountain. And he took the calf which he had made, and burnt it, he burnt it in the fire, and grounded it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel to drink of it. Verse 20, one more time. And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it.
Stop right there, Warren. Now, we see something where Moses' descends come from his ascension on the mountain. Now he takes those same handwritings that Yahuah wrote himself in those stones.
Right.
Moses takes them and breaks them.
Right.
Why?
And
He was
because they transgressed the covenant.
okay then.
But that's the thing. He already knew that they had Yahuah had told him on the mountain, so why would he break them? Like, if Yahuah already told him what had happened before he came down off the mountain, why, when he saw it, do you think he would have gotten mad and then broke them? If he already knew.
Right, because the covenant wasn't good anymore. They broke the covenant. Remember, this was a marriage.
But why didn't Yahuah break it?
Why did Yahuah break it? But he used Moses. Because
he didn't tell Moses to break it, though.
No, he didn't tell Moses to break
He
it.
didn't tell.
But Moses, you're going to see something.
Okay.
Moses already knew. Even Moses had already told Abraham about these people. He said, even after you gone, they going to be a terror. Now what you have is Moses now breaking the tablet, because now Yashra'al has breaking what? They have broken what? The covenant.
Right.
Now what you're going to see is by them breaking the covenant, you notice when Abraham entered into covenant with Mosiah, what happened?
Yeah.
Right, you know, you have the covenant bills and all that stuff. But do you remember when Abraham, he had to also do what? He had to circumcise himself, and what else?
And his children.
And his children, and who else?
Right.
All his men, servants, everything. What happened with the nation of Yashra'al when they come up out of Egypt? Were they also required to circumcise?
Yes.
But y'all don't find the strength from this very moment right here? Throughout that whole 40 years in the wilderness, they don't circumcise again? Ask yourself why. There was no need, because the covenant was broken. This is done with right here. This right here is done with. Now we're going back to Moshe. What happened when Yahuah was going to destroy them? Moses does what? He pleads for, or he mediates for them. He's the mediator. He mediates on behalf, or he's the mediator between Yahuah and Yashra'al. Very important. Maureen, you were going to say something. You had some real juice on your mind now.
Because Ezekiel asked a very important question.
Yes.
Why didn't the father actually do the killing? You see Moshe actually breaking the tablets here. What Maury is sharing with us is that this was actually written by the hands of the Father here.
Right.
But when we go back to Genesis, the 15th chapter, it's talking about a covenant that the Father made with Abraham. And so he's been obliged by his word. Because when the covenant is broken, you're supposed to die.
Right.
And so we should really pay very close attention to that. So if we were to make this thing personal, the only reason why you're here is because of the covenant that he made with Abraham. And when we see now the mercy now where, leave me alone, I'm about to kill every last one of these selfish Negroes, every single last one of them, because they quickly turned away. And so the only thing that saved Israel's behind in the wilderness was the covenant, because like Warren said now, was that this is my covenant. My covenant. And if you break the covenant, to show the Father's mercy is so without limit, is that you didn't die. And if we were to keep that in mind, you were supposed to die. Abraham fell asleep. He didn't go between the pieces. That same smoke and burning furnace that walked between the pieces, you see that same smoke and burning furnace on the top of Mount Sinai. What would have happened now if Abram would have went between the pieces? That would be the question. If Abram would have went between the pieces, what would happen at this particular point here?
All the seed of Yashra'al would have been wiped out. And no more you've been in, no Israel forever.
You're dead. You're finished. You're not here.
No more Israel on the face of the earth forever.
And the two pieces are what again?
Remember we talked about the turtle dove, the pigeons, and they were laid one beside another, and a burning furnace went between the pieces. And so it always talks about, even if the way that it was done in Israel, if I made a covenant with you, these are blood ratified.
Yeah.
That's real serious.
Blood is why.
Yeah.
Got that.
So if you and I made a blood ratified covenant, if I broke that covenant, I'm supposed to die. Israel didn't die. If Abram would have went between the pieces, it was blood ratified. He would have died.
And that's why I focused when I started off about the oath sworn by my mouth.
Yeah.
That's why Abram will put it in a trance. Yahuah already knew what happened. He told him. Like you said, he told him. That's why he couldn't allow him to take part of that war. Because he knew what he was dealing with. He knew what was going to happen. So because of his love for something he was trying to do, remember, Yahuah has a plan with the nation of Yashra'al. Even when we go back to Abraham, I probably should have started, but I wanted to get here. Then we were going to backtrack a little bit because you remember something happened with Abraham. You remember when Lot got in trouble and him and his family was captured along with who? Many others. What did Abraham do? Did not he go get his 4 allies? And what happened? They went and they defeated the enemy. They got back what? Not only all the spoils of war, but they got all the people too. But what happened with Abraham? Something happened with Abraham during that time after he defeated them. Melchizedek came to him with what? Bread and wine.
That's right.
That's the sign of a covenant meal.
That's right.
Very important. Why did Melchizedek come to Abraham with bread and wine? Go ahead.
Because he had made that covenant with Yahuah.
He had made that covenant with Yahuah. That was a reminder of the covenant. So when the Most High said, you are a kingdom of priests, that's very important. But is it after the Aharonic order, or what we call the Levitical priesthood? Because technically, if we get down to it, you won't find in Torah a Levitical, what we call a Levitical priesthood. Matter of fact, the Levi was just general laborers for the temple of the high priest. They were just what we call the labor board. Now, With this priesthood, the Most High is talking about, y'all gonna find this strange before Mashiyach ascended to his father, to the Father. Did he not meet with the Talmudians?
Yes, he did.
What did he meet with them with?
2 witnesses.
Was it not bread and wine?
Yes.
Why?
The renewed covenant.
The renewed covenant is a covenant meal. Was it not blood ratified? How was it blood ratified? Y'all.
His death.
His death. It was blood ratified with his death. That's why he said, take you and drink all of it. This is my blood, which was what? Say that what? Oh, he said, I'll talk about when he said, take you and drink all of this. This is my blood. Yeah, chef, you're missing the blood of what? The new covenant. He said, this is my body, which was what? Broken. Now, does anybody remember when the offering acceptance was made with Mashiyach?
Say that one more time.
Do anybody remember when the offer and acceptance was made with Mashiyach? We're going to get to that later. Y'all, what you going to say?
Passover.
No, not necessarily Passover. Do y'all remember when he came riding through town on what?
On the donkey.
On the donkey. We're going to go visit that in another part, and we're going to see something. Because all of this is leading up to something. Because what is Mashiyach doing, and what is his purpose? Why did Melchizedek come and present himself to Abraham? So when we go back to the book of Hebrews, all of this is going to make a what? A lot of sense. Because did not Melchizedek, isn't he not the last high priest of the Melchizedekian order? So what is he trying to do? Now, matter of fact, Maureen, if you would, let's go. Say it again. Okay. Let's go over to Deuteronomy 31. Let's start. Let me go there first because let me see where I want to start at. Deuteronomy 31. Deuteronomy 31. Just started, let's start at verse 22, Morning.
Okay, 22.
Chapter 22? No, chapter 31.
And Moshe therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it to the children of Yashra'al. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore unto them, and I will be with you. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moshe commanded the Levites, which bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, saying.
Stop right there. Read that again, Morning.
Verse 25. That Moshe commanded the Levites.
Matter of fact, go back up to 24.
Okay, 24. Then it came to pass, when Moshe had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book.
The words of what?
This law.
This law in a book.
Until they were finished. That Moshe commanded the Levites, which bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, saying.
Stop right there. It said Moses did what? Commanded who?
Levites.
Which bore what?
The ark of the covenant.
The ark of the covenant. Go ahead.
Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahuah your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against you.
Stop right there. He said, take this what? This book of the law and put it where?
On the side.
In the side.
In the side of the ark. Not inside the ark.
That's right.
He said, in the side of the ark of the covenant. What was inside the ark of the covenant?
The book of the covenant.
The book of the covenant, which went into 2 tablets. What else? Aaron's rod.
Aaron's rod.
No, this is Sunday school, y'all. And the golden bowl of what? Manna. That's inside the Ark of the Covenant. The book of the law is where? In the side of the Ark. You have 2 different entities. The book of the covenant and the book of the law are not the same.
That's right.
This is the problem when it comes to understanding Yahusha right, especially when we get to Galatians, we get to James. You're going to see all of them point back to Abraham. Why is it pointing them back to Abraham? Because of the book of the covenant. A covenant made with Abraham being Isaac, Jacob. All of this was pre-golden calf. What happened post-book of the covenant? Now you get the book of the law. Now we're dealing with what? You've gone from having a kingdom of priests, which they were supposed to be. Now you're finna be a kingdom with a priest. Y'all see where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
All this because of the golden calf. And they committed all of it because of adultery. Y'all don't find it strange? What is ZZ for? Why do we wear it?
To remind of the commandments.
To remind us of the commandment. Which ones?
The book of the covenant.
The book of the covenant. Because what happened? Because of adultery and whoredom, they broke the covenant. Y'all don't find it strange that ZZ was supposed to be worn around your loins area? Why? To remind you of the sin that caused you to lose and fall from this right here. That's very important. All of this is so key to our understanding, and we have to get this. So when we keep all of this in mind, because as we progress through the next 3 lessons, I'm about to be like Morex. Okay, then. So keep that in mind as we progress through these lessons. All of this is going to make sense. You're going to see the purpose of Mashiyach Yahusha, because we said the law was a schoolmaster or a tutor to win. Until the seed should come. Why until the seed should come? Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. At this time, we're going to turn into the hands of our senior more right here. Let him have words, and he's going to send us on home.